Okay, I've been buying more speakers, and this time I've bought a pair of Rogers LS4as. So these are the baby version of the 6As I had on a video recently. Yeah, picked them up off good old eBay. Apparently they both worked perfectly and were in good condition, but unfortunately they've not arrived that way. I mean, first glance they look really good, but we've had a knock in transport there. That's the only one on that speaker, so it's not too bad. And we've had a knock on this one as well. So it's a shame because the cabinets are really good apart from that. But I think I can probably, given that they're so small, just carefully cut out the veneer or the lamination, because this is like a black ash finish, and touch it in carefully, and I don't think it will notice. The speaker cloth is pretty good. I've gone over it with some compressed air, and that's cleaned it up quite a lot. There's a pulled thread on one of them, and the cloth is marked probably where people have been doing this. So I might, rather than replace it, I might try and just gently wash it. Yeah, we'll see. But the annoying thing is, these apparently were working speakers, and I plugged them in just to give them a quick listen, and the tweeter on this one doesn't work. This one seems to work really nicely, sounds really good, and also the mid bass, to me, the woofer didn't sound particularly good. Might just be because the tweeter's missing, but don't know, it sounded a bit off. So let's have a quick look in, take the grill off. Right, so I've removed the grill, and they're a good looking speaker. Again, I just, for first glances, I just like them. So this time we've got, I think, probably the same size woofer as we had on my LS6As. Let's give that a measure. Yeah, 8" overall, so I think it's possibly the same woofer. It's not recessed, and we've got the tweeter at the top. The C is probably a C's tweeter, S-E-A-S. But yeah, they're in really good nick. Screws haven't been out or anything. So this is the tweeter that isn't working. I'm hoping we just find one of the push-on connections has come off, because these are really nice. I've cleaned up the front, and I've cleaned up the outside. They came from a house where they obviously smoked, because they were covered in like brown nicotine. But yeah, I'd really like to get these working properly, because they, yeah, I like them. Okay, so we'll take this one apart and we'll try and find out what's going on. Right, let's take this tweeter out carefully, because these are in such good condition. They really are. So wood screws holding the tweeter in. Like I say, I hope we just find something simple with these, because it's going to be a shame if we have to replace a tweeter. I don't mind replacing components on the crossover. Yeah, again, I'd like to keep these. Right, that came out easy. Ugh. Both cables are intact. This is not a good sign. So yeah, it's a C's tweeter, an H414. These are fairly readily available, but they're almost as much as I paid for the speakers. So okay, so what we'll do, we'll test the driver, we'll continuity test it, and see what we have. So Let's turn that over carefully. Trusty old continuity meter. Okay, let's test the meter, make sure we got 0.02. Okay, let's see what we got on the tweeter. So oh no, open circuit. What a bum. That tweeter has had it. Okay, we're going to have to get another. Okay, so while we're here, we'll have a look inside. So the front baffle is MDF. I think the Rogers later speakers became kind of MDF rather than the chipboard they were using. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the rest of it's made of. The MDF is quite a good material for speakers. It's quite dead. So let's have a look. Yeah, wood screws again. So the quality isn't quite there compared to the LS4as I had. They had inserts. So that's probably because they were in a chipboard baffle. So yeah, I think quality might have dropped off a little bit with these. Whether they were made and designed at the same time as the 6As or not, I don't know. But yeah, possibly not as good. Right, let's put the woofers in here quite well. There we go. Okay. I thought most of the damping on this was coming from the cabinet, but that's quite a stiff, damped speaker. Okay. So I think what we'll do, we'll desolder this, and then we can have a look at the crossover. Yeah, wiring's pretty good quality. So, very nice condition bass driver, made by Swiss Tone again. 8 ohm. So we might as well measure that while we're here. So, like I keep saying, that's an impedance measurement, nominal, probably at 1000 hertz. So let's see what the DC measurement is. 5.9 less 0.2 for the lead, so 5.7. So yep, very good. There you go, you can have a closer look at that. Polypropylene, I would have thought. Very nice, really good condition. It's a shame these just haven't been mucked around with, and we've got that blown tweeter. There you go, that's life. Okay, so inside we've got a roll of foam going round that way, and then 2 pieces of foam each side. Cabinet's chipboard. But the front baffle is MDF. That's probably 18mm. So a nice thick front baffle. Yep. Okay, I expect the crossover is at the back. connected to the binding posts. Right, there it is. So what I will do, I will unbolt it, pull it out so you can have a look at it. Right, so here is the crossover. It's very, very similar to what we had in my LS6As. I'd almost say it's possibly the same board. So we're using these two terminals, whereas the 6A used this one as well. So you couldn't buy wire them, but you could introduce some attenuation like a link resistor on the tweeter if you wanted to, because they were reasonably bright. Yeah, so we've got a third order arrangement on the tweeter, so 2 capacitors and an inductor which is connected in the middle of these down to ground. Got an 8 and a 4.7 microfarad cap, and then on the woofer circuit we've got an inductor and cap, so second order. I think this arrangement is possibly a notch filter. So what I'll do, I'll draw it out and then we can have a look. So we've got an 8 microfarad there, very, very similar to the 6As. I think that was a 4 on the 6As. So we've got 2 8s, which is what we had on the 6As, and a 20. Right, okay, let's map this out. Right, so this is what we've got. So on the tweeter circuit, you come along the positive through a 4.7 microfarad, through an 8 microfarad to the negative of the tweeter. So the tweeter is connected out of phase, and then an inductor here, the air core, down to ground. So this is a third order, which will give us an 18 dB attenuation per octave. And then on the woofer, come along the positive, through an inductor, straight down to the positive on the woofer, capacitor down to ground. So this is a second order arrangement. So that gives us 12 dB attenuation per octave. And then we have a capacitor and an inductor here. So these will be like a bandpass tuned to a certain frequency, and they'll probably be pulling out a lump in the response. So, you know, if you had frequency response that, let's say it's pretty flat, and then you had a bump in it, you would tune this little circuit here to pull this down to ground. So I think that's probably what they're doing. So yeah, I think what I'll do now is measure all the components on here. We know the values, and make sure the crossover's okay. Right, I think on the tweeter circuit I only needed to lift this one up to basically give us one disconnected leg on all of these. So let's have a look. So we do the capacitors first. So we'll do this 4.7 first. Helps if I have the cables in the right plug. 4.74. Yeah, very happy with that. So now we'll check this 8. .34. Yeah, so that's within 5%. And then this inductor here. So we go, see what we got on this. 0.19 millihenry. So yeah, they're values I'd expect to see. There we are on the inductor, 0.19 millihenry. So I'll put that back together. Right, so crossover's all back together. So I will measure the other speaker, all the components on the crossover. Hopefully they're comparable with this one. I think that 20 may be a bit suspect because we recorded 26. If I'm recording the same on the other crossover, I think I'll be quite happy. Yeah, so hopefully we match up on the other. So the only problem we've got is this tweeter, which is a little bit annoying. Yeah, so next video I will get another tweeter and we can replace that, and we can do some little repairs on the cabinet, and then hopefully these are a bit quick and dirty, they're done, and then we can give them a listen and hopefully off they go. Right, thanks for watching. Sorry it's been a bit quick and basic this one, but catch you soon. Okay, so little update. I've taken the tweeter apart, and yeah, look at that. Try and get that to focus, which it's not going to do, is it? Yeah, burnt to a crisp. So that's been played fairly hard at some point. Yeah, so I don't really think I'm going to attempt to repair that. Might look into it, but we'll see. Anyway, there we go. New tweeter.